The whole lobby went silent when Marcus Reed looked at the front desk manager and said, "Cynthia Blake, pack your things. You no longer work for this hotel." The woman's lips shook. "Sir, please," she whispered. "I didn't know." Marcus looked down at his daughter, Lily, who was hiding behind his wet coat with tears on her cheeks. Then he looked back at Cynthia. "That is the problem," he said quietly. "You thought you needed to know who I was before you treated me like a human being. But before that moment came, before the begging, before the truth turned the whole hotel upside down, Marcus Reed had walked through those glass doors as just another tired black father carrying his sleeping child in the rain. And if you have ever been judged before someone even knew your name, comment where you are listening from. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts below. If something like this has ever happened to you or someone you love, share your experience too, because this story may sound like drama, but for many people, it feels too real. The rain was falling hard that night. It beat against the windshield like small stones as Marcus drove slowly through the dark road leading to the Grand Elmont Hotel. The city lights were blurry through the storm. Cars moved like shadows. His 6-year-old daughter, Lily, slept in the back seat, wrapped in her pink blanket, her small hand holding a stuffed rabbit close to her chest. Marcus looked at her through the mirror. "We're almost there, baby," he whispered, even though she could not hear him. His eyes were tired. His shirt was damp from the gas station where he had stopped earlier. His beard had grown rough after 2 days of travel. He did not look like a rich man. He did not look like the owner of a luxury hotel chain. And that was exactly the point. For months, complaints had reached his office. Black guests ignored at the front desk. Single mothers questioned too much. Customers dressed simply treated like they did not belong. Marcus had read every report in silence. At first, he hoped they were misunderstandings. But after the 5th complaint, then the 10th, then the one from an elderly man who wrote, "Your hotel made me feel small," Marcus decided to see the truth with his own eyes. So he booked a room under his middle name. No assistant, no driver, no expensive suit. Just him and Lily, because her babysitter canceled at the last minute, and Marcus refused to leave his daughter with anyone he did not trust. When he pulled into the hotel entrance, the building rose high in front of him, bright and proud, with golden lights shining through the rain. The name, the Grand Elmont, glowed above the doors. Marcus parked, stepped out, and opened the back door. "Lily," he whispered, "we're here." She stirred but did not wake. He lifted her gently into his arms. Her head fell against his shoulder. Rain soaked the back of his jacket as he hurried toward the entrance, with one hand shielding her face. The automatic doors slid open. Warm air touched his skin. The lobby smelled of polished wood, fresh flowers, and expensive perfume. Soft piano music played from hidden speakers. A few guests stood near the lounge, holding wine glasses and talking quietly. Marcus walked to the front desk, dripping water onto the marble floor. Behind the desk stood Cynthia Blake. She was in her early 40s, with sharp eyes, red lipstick, and a smile that appeared only when she wanted it to. The moment she saw Marcus, the smile disappeared. Her eyes moved from his wet sneakers to his old travel bag, then to Lily, sleeping in his arms. "Yes?" she said. "Not welcome. Not good evening. Just yes." Marcus adjusted Lily on his shoulder. "Good evening," he said calmly. "I have a reservation." Cynthia stared at him. "A reservation?" "Yes." "For tonight?" Marcus looked at her for a second. "Yes, for tonight." She tapped the keyboard slowly, but her eyes stayed on him more than the screen. "Name? Marcus Hill." She typed. Her face changed slightly, but only for a moment. "I see a reservation," she said, "but I'll need a card for incidentals and identification." Marcus nodded and reached into his pocket. Before he could hand it over, Cynthia leaned back and said, "Just so you know, our rooms tonight are quite expensive." Marcus paused. A white couple standing nearby turned their heads. Marcus kept his voice even. "I know." Cynthia's lips tightened. "And this is not a motel. We have certain standards here." Lily shifted in his arms, her little face pressing against his neck. Marcus lowered his voice. "My daughter is sleeping. I have driven 4 hours through rain. Please check us in." Cynthia looked at the child, then back at him. "Is she yours?" Marcus blinked. The question landed like a slap. "Yes," he said. "She is my daughter." Cynthia folded her arms. I'm only asking because we have to be careful. Marcus slowly placed his ID and card on the counter. Careful of what? Her eyes hardened. Sir, do not raise your tone with me. I did not raise my tone. From the corner, an older woman sitting near the fireplace lowered her book. Her silver hair framed her face, and her eyes settled on Marcus with concern. Cynthia picked up the ID and looked at it for too long. This card has a different last name from the reservation. My legal name is Marcus Reed Hill, he said. I use Marcus Hill when I travel. How convenient, Cynthia muttered. Marcus heard it. So did the white couple. So did the older woman by the fireplace. Marcus breathed in slowly. Ma'am, are you refusing to check me in? Cynthia smiled, but it was not kind. I am refusing to make a mistake. A mistake? Yes. People come in here all the time claiming reservations that are not theirs. Marcus looked around the lobby. People were watching now. One man near the elevator whispered something to his wife. A young employee behind Cynthia pretended to arrange papers, but his hands were shaking. Marcus leaned closer to the counter. You have my ID. You have my card. You have the reservation. What exactly is missing? Cynthia's jaw tightened. Your attitude. Marcus stared at her. For the first time, something dark moved behind his calm eyes. My daughter needs a bed, he said. That is my attitude. Lily opened her eyes slowly. Daddy? She mumbled. Marcus softened at once. I'm here, baby. She lifted her head and looked around the bright lobby. Then she saw Cynthia's face. She saw the guests staring. She felt the tension before she understood it. Are we in trouble? Lily whispered. Marcus kissed her forehead. No, sweetheart. We're not in trouble. Cynthia exhaled loudly. Sir, I'm going to ask you to step aside. Marcus looked at her. No. The word was quiet, but it filled the air. Cynthia's eyes widened. Excuse me? I said no. I have a paid reservation. My child is tired. You will either check us in or explain clearly why you will not. Cynthia turned to the young employee beside her. Call security. The boy froze. Ms. Blake, now. Lily's small fingers gripped Marcus's collar. Daddy, why is she mad? Marcus held her tighter. She does not know us, baby. Cynthia heard him and snapped. Do not twist this. This is private property. Marcus looked up slowly. Private property? Yes, Cynthia said. And we reserve the right to refuse service. The older woman by the fireplace stood up. Miss, she said gently. The man has a child. It's storming outside. Cynthia turned sharply. Ma'am, please let staff handle this. The older woman's mouth closed, but her eyes did not move away. A heavy man in a black suit entered from the hallway. His name tag read, Derek Shaw, Security Supervisor. What's the issue? Derek asked. Cynthia pointed at Marcus. He is refusing to leave the desk, Marcus said. I am trying to check in. Derek looked Marcus up and down, the same way Cynthia had. Sir, let's not make this difficult. Marcus gave a tired laugh, but there was no humor in it. You don't even know what happened. I know Ms. Blake asked you to step aside. My room is paid for. Derek stepped closer. And now I'm asking you to leave the lobby. Lily began to cry. Not loud at first. Just a small broken sound against Marcus's shoulder. Daddy, I want to go home. That did something to Marcus. His face stayed calm, but his hand tightened around the handle of his travel bag. His eyes moved from Cynthia to Derek, then to every employee watching in silence. You are scaring my child, Marcus said. Cynthia scoffed. No one is scaring your child. You are creating a scene. Marcus turned his head toward her. No, he said softly. You created it the moment you decided I did not belong here. The lobby fell quiet. Even the piano music seemed too loud. Derek touched the radio on his shoulder. I need another officer at the front desk. Marcus lowered Lily to the floor and knelt in front of her. He wiped her tears with his thumb. Listen to me, Lily, he whispered. Sometimes people will treat you badly because they think silence means weakness. She sniffed. Are you weak, Daddy? Marcus smiled sadly. No, baby. I'm just patient. Then he stood up and pulled out his phone. Cynthia rolled her eyes. Who are you calling? Someone to pretend you're important. Marcus did not answer. He tapped one number. The call connected after 2 rings. A woman's voice came through. Mr. Reed? Cynthia's face changed. Marcus put the phone on speaker. Angela, he said, his voice calm and clear. I'm standing in the lobby of the Grand Elmont with my daughter. Your front desk manager has refused my reservation, questioned whether my child belongs to me, and security is preparing to remove us into the storm. There was a sharp silence on the phone. Then Angela Morris, the regional director, said in a trembling voice, "Sir, please tell me Cynthia Blake is not the manager on duty." Marcus looked straight at Cynthia. Cynthia's lips parted. Derek's hand dropped from his radio. Marcus said, "She is." Angela's voice shook harder. "Mr. Reed, that hotel belongs to you." The older woman near the fireplace covered her mouth. The white couple stepped back. Cynthia whispered, "No." Marcus reached into his coat and pulled out a folded envelope, wet at the edges, but sealed in plastic. He placed it on the counter. Inside were the ownership documents. Then he looked at Cynthia and said, "Now, before I decide what happens next, I want you to repeat what you told me about standards." Cynthia stared at the papers. Her face turned pale, but before she could speak, the young employee behind her suddenly whispered, "Sir, this is not the first time." Marcus slowly turned his eyes toward him. "What did you say?" The boy swallowed hard and glanced at Cynthia like he was afraid for his life. Then he said, "There are files in the back office, complaints, deleted reports, names of guests they told us to ignore." Marcus stood completely still, and Cynthia screamed, "Shut your mouth, Ethan." For 3 seconds, nobody moved. The rain outside slapped against the glass doors. The piano music in the lobby kept playing softly, but now it sounded wrong, like music at a funeral. Marcus Reed stood at the counter with one hand resting on the wet envelope. His daughter, Lily, clung to his leg, still crying quietly. Cynthia Blake stood behind the desk, her red lipstick trembling on her mouth. The young employee, Ethan, looked like he had just jumped into deep water and did not know how to swim. Marcus turned fully toward him. "Ethan," Marcus said calmly, "look at me." Ethan raised his eyes slowly. Cynthia hissed, "Don't you dare say another word." Marcus did not look at her. "Ethan," he repeated, "you are safe. Tell me what you mean." Ethan swallowed. His eyes moved to Derek, the security supervisor, then back to Marcus. "There are complaint forms," Ethan said. "Some guests filled them out at the desk. Some emailed. Some asked for managers. But Ms. Blake said they were troublemakers." Cynthia slammed her palm on the counter. "That is a lie." Lily jumped. Marcus looked down at his daughter. Cynthia saw it too, and for the first time, fear entered her face. Marcus bent down and lifted Lily again. Her small arms went around his neck. He whispered, "It's okay, baby." Lily's voice shook. "Daddy, why is everybody shouting?" Marcus closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, the softness was still there, but something colder sat behind it. "Because some grown-ups forgot how to behave." Cynthia tried to speak, but Marcus raised one finger. "Not another word from you unless I ask." The whole lobby froze. Derek cleared his throat. "Mr. Reed, I think this is a misunderstanding. We can all go to the office and talk privately." Marcus turned to him. "Privately?" "Yes, sir. Away from the guests." Marcus gave a small nod, but his face did not change. "So when you wanted to throw me into the storm, it was public. But now that you know I own the hotel, it should be private?" Derek's lips pressed together. "I was only following procedure." Marcus stepped closer. "No, you followed prejudice and called it procedure." The older woman near the fireplace stepped forward. "My name is Helen Carter," she said. "I saw everything from the beginning." Marcus looked at her. "Thank you, ma'am." She held her purse tightly in both hands. "And this is not the first time I have seen something like this here." Cynthia snapped her head toward her. Helen did not look away. "Last month, a young black couple came in after their wedding reception. The bride still had flowers in her hair. Cynthia told them their card looked suspicious. They left in tears. A low sound moved through the lobby. One of the guests whispered, "My God." Cynthia pointed at Helen. "You don't know what you're talking about." Helen's voice became firmer. "I know cruelty when I see it." Marcus looked at Angela's name still glowing on his phone screen. She had not hung up. "Angela," he said, "are you hearing this?" Angela's voice came through, tight and angry. "Yes, sir. I'm hearing everything." "Good," Marcus said. "Contact legal, contact human resources, and send me every complaint made against this property in the last 12 months. Cynthia's face drained. "Mr. Reed, please," she said quickly. "Please, Let me explain. Marcus slowly turned toward her. Now you want to explain? I made a judgment call. You judged me before I gave you my name. I was protecting the hotel. No, Marcus said. You were protecting your idea of who deserves respect. Cynthia's eyes filled with tears, but they did not look like tears of guilt. They looked like tears of fear. My job is all I have, she whispered. Marcus looked at Lily. Then he looked back at Cynthia. And my daughter's dignity is all she had tonight. The words landed heavy. Cynthia lowered her head. For a moment, it looked like the storm had finally broken her. Then Ethan whispered again. Sir, there's more. Cynthia's head snapped up. Ethan, Marcus said. Let him speak. Ethan wiped his sweaty palms on his pants. There's a binder in the back office. Ms. Blake called it the watch list. Marcus narrowed his eyes. The what? Ethan's voice became smaller. The watch list. Guests to monitor. People staff should question more. People who looked like they might cause problems. Marcus's jaw tightened. How were people placed on that list? Ethan hesitated. Derek looked away. Marcus noticed. Derek, Marcus said. Derek's shoulders stiffened. Marcus stepped toward him. You knew about it. Derek did not answer. Marcus's voice dropped lower. Answer me. Derek breathed out slowly. Yes, sir. The lobby gasped. Lily lifted her head from Marcus's shoulder. Daddy? Marcus rubbed her back, but his eyes stayed on Derek. Who approved this list? Derek glanced at Cynthia. Cynthia shook her head quickly. Don't you put this on me. Derek laughed bitterly. Oh, now you're scared? Derek, Marcus said sharply. Names. Derek looked around the lobby as if the walls were closing in on him. It started before me, he said. Before Cynthia, too. Marcus froze. Cynthia's eyes widened, not with guilt this time, but with surprise. Marcus stared at Derek. What do you mean? Derek swallowed hard. There was an instruction from someone above property level. Not written plain, but we all understood it. Certain guests were to be watched. Certain people were not the image the hotel wanted. Angela's voice came through the phone. That is impossible. Derek looked at the phone. With respect, ma'am, no it is not. Marcus felt something cold move through his chest. He had expected bad staff. He had expected ugly behavior. But this sounded bigger. This sounded like a disease inside the bones of the hotel itself. Cynthia suddenly grabbed a stack of papers from the printer and began shoving them into a drawer. Ethan shouted, She's hiding them. Marcus moved fast. Step away from the drawer. Cynthia froze. Her hand was still inside. Marcus placed Lily gently into Helen Carter's arms. Helen took the child carefully. It's okay, sweetheart, Helen whispered. Your daddy is right here. Marcus walked behind the front desk. Cynthia backed away. Sir, you can't just... Marcus opened the drawer. Inside were folded forms, printed emails, handwritten notes, and a small black binder with no label. He picked up the binder. The lobby became so quiet that everyone could hear the rain. Marcus opened the first page. His face changed. There were names, dozens of them. Beside some names were notes. Question payment. Watch luggage. Possible fraud. Low-class appearance. Single mother, noisy child. Then Marcus saw one line that made his fingers stop. A guest name. A date. And beside it, 4 words written in blue ink. Do not accommodate again. Marcus stared at it. Angela spoke softly through the phone. Sir, what is it? Marcus did not answer. He turned the binder toward Cynthia. Who wrote this? Cynthia looked at the page. Her lips parted. I don't know. Marcus leaned closer. You're lying. Ethan stared at the page and whispered, That handwriting belongs to Mr. Wallace. Angela went silent. Marcus lifted the phone slowly. Angela, he said, Who is Mr. Wallace? For a long moment, no one spoke. Then Angela's voice came back, almost broken. Thomas Wallace is the executive chairman of the hotel group. Marcus's eyes hardened. Cynthia whispered, I told you, it wasn't just me. Then Marcus turned the page and saw a printed photo clipped inside the binder. It was a picture of him, a picture of Marcus Reed, taken from a company event 3 years ago. Under his photo, someone had written, If he ever comes undercover, do not let him reach the records. Marcus stopped breathing. And across the lobby, Derek whispered, They knew you were coming. They knew you were coming. Derek's words did not sound loud, but they shook the lobby more than thunder. Marcus Reed stood behind the front desk, holding the black binder in one hand and his phone in the other. His face was calm, but his eyes had changed. The tired father who had walked in from the rain was still there, but now something deeper had awakened. Cynthia Blake stared at the photo in the binder. "That picture was already there when I became manager," she whispered. "I swear." Marcus looked at her. "And you still use the system?" Cynthia lowered her eyes. Derek rubbed his forehead. "Mr. Reed, you need to understand. Wallace made people afraid. Managers who questioned him were transferred or pushed out." Marcus turned the page slowly. More names, more notes, more lives reduced to ugly words. Single father, suspicious, black family. Watch closely. Poor appearance. Ask for extra deposit. Mother with 3 children. Deny if possible. Marcus's hand tightened on the binder. Helen Carter was still holding Lily near the fireplace. Lily's small face rested on Helen's shoulder, but her eyes stayed on her father. "Daddy?" she called softly. Marcus looked at her, and all the anger in his face softened for 1 second. "I'm here, baby." Lily pointed at Cynthia. "Why did she not like us?" Nobody breathed. Cynthia's lips trembled. Marcus walked toward his daughter, knelt in front of her, and took her tiny hand. "She does not know how to see people properly," he said. "Some people only look at clothes, cars, and color. They forget to look at the heart." Lily wiped her nose with the back of her hand. "But you always say we should be kind." Marcus nodded slowly. "Yes, but being kind does not mean letting people hurt you." Helen's eyes filled with tears. Marcus stood up and faced the staff again. "Angela," he said into the phone, "I want Thomas Wallace on speaker now." Angela hesitated. "Sir, he may not answer at this hour." "Then wake him." Cynthia closed her eyes. Derek stepped back like he already knew the storm was about to enter the room. After a few tense minutes, the phone rang through the speaker. Once, twice, then a rough male voice answered. "Angela, this better be important." Marcus said, "It is." The man went silent. Then his voice changed. "Marcus?" "Yes, Thomas." Another pause. "I heard you were visiting one of the properties soon." Marcus looked at the binder. "You heard more than that." Thomas Wallace gave a small laugh, but it was nervous. "I don't know what you mean." Marcus lifted the photo from the binder and looked at it again. "You had my picture placed in a hidden file inside my own hotel. Under it, someone wrote that if I came undercover, staff should stop me from reaching records." Thomas said nothing. Marcus continued. "Tonight, my daughter and I were denied a room, humiliated in the lobby, and almost thrown into the rain." Thomas exhaled sharply. "That is unfortunate. But you know how hotel security works. Sometimes people on the ground make mistakes." Marcus looked at Cynthia. "Mistakes?" Cynthia covered her mouth. Marcus opened the binder and read aloud. "Question payment. Watch luggage. Low-class appearance. Do not accommodate again." Thomas's voice hardened. "You should not be reading internal operational notes in front of guests." The lobby reacted with quiet shock. Marcus smiled faintly, but there was no happiness in it. "So your concern is not what happened. Your concern is who heard it." Thomas snapped. "Be careful, Marcus. This hotel group has investors. A public scandal could destroy everything your father built." Marcus's face went still. For the first time that night, pain crossed his eyes. "My father built this company because he slept in his car once, after a hotel refused him service." The lobby became silent. Marcus's voice dropped. "He told me, son, one day we will own doors that nobody can close in our faces. And you turned those doors into weapons." Thomas said, "You are being emotional." Marcus looked at Lily. "Yes," he said, "I am. Because my child was crying in a lobby I own, while your people treated us like dirt." Then Marcus turned to Angela. "End his access. Freeze his authority. Notify legal. First thing in the morning, I want an emergency board meeting." Thomas shouted through the phone. "You cannot remove me like this." Marcus's voice remained quiet. "I can start tonight." Then he ended the call. For a moment, no one spoke. Cynthia stepped forward, crying now. "Mr. Reed, please. I have a mortgage. I have a son in college. I was following the culture I found here." Marcus looked at her with tired eyes. "You had a choice every time someone stood at this desk. I was afraid. So were they," Marcus said. "The guests you embarrassed. The parents you questioned. The children you made feel unwanted." Cynthia shook her head. "Please don't fire me." Marcus looked at Lily again. Lily was watching him closely, as if she was learning what justice looked like. Marcus turned back to Cynthia. "Cynthia Blake, you are fired." Her knees almost gave way. Derek stepped forward quickly. "Sir, I cooperated." Marcus faced him. "You cooperated after the truth trapped you." Derek's mouth opened, but nothing came out. "You were ready to throw a 6-year-old child into a storm because a manager told you to." "Derek Shaw, you are fired too." Derek lowered his head. Marcus turned toward the young employee behind the desk. "Ethan." The boy flinched. "Yes, sir? You were afraid, but you spoke." Ethan's eyes turned red. "I should have spoken earlier." "Yes," Marcus said. "You should have. But tonight, you chose truth. Stay. You will speak to investigators." Ethan nodded quickly. Marcus faced the guests in the lobby. "To everyone who witnessed this, I apologize. Not as a businessman, as a father, as a man, as someone who should have found this rot sooner." Helen stepped forward with Lily. "You found it tonight," she said gently. Marcus looked at her. "Because my daughter had to suffer first." Helen shook her head. "Because people finally saw what others had been trying to tell you." Those words stayed with Marcus. By morning, the hotel was no longer quiet. Legal teams arrived. Human resources arrived. Angela arrived in person before sunrise, her hair pulled back and her face heavy with shame. The hidden binder was copied. Emails were recovered. Deleted complaints were restored. And the truth was worse than anyone expected. For years, guests who looked poor, black, single, foreign, tired, or out of place, had been watched, delayed, denied, or overcharged. Some employees had hated it but stayed silent. Some had enjoyed the power. And Thomas Wallace had protected the system, because he believed luxury should have a certain face. By noon, Wallace was suspended pending removal. By evening, Marcus stood in front of every employee in the ballroom. Lily sat in the front row with Helen Carter, holding her stuffed rabbit. Marcus did not shout. He did not perform. He simply held up the black binder. "This," he said, "is what happens when people forget that service means dignity." Some employees cried. Some stared at the floor. Marcus continued. "From today, this hotel will be rebuilt. New leadership, new training, new reporting systems. Every complaint will be reviewed. Every guest will be treated like they belong, because they do." Angela wiped her eyes. Marcus looked around the room. "And if anyone here believes respect depends on how rich someone looks, leave now. I will not stop you." Nobody moved. Then Lily raised her small hand. A few people turned and smiled softly. Marcus looked at her. "Yes, baby?" She stood up, nervous but brave. "Daddy," she said, "can we still sleep here tonight?" A quiet laugh moved through the room, soft and emotional. Marcus smiled for the first time. "Yes, Lily. We can sleep here tonight." She looked around the ballroom. "Good," she said, "because I want the people here to be nicer tomorrow." Marcus's eyes filled with tears. He walked to her, lifted her into his arms, and kissed her forehead. "They will be," he whispered, "or they will not be here." 1 month later, the Grand Elmont looked the same from the outside, but inside, everything had changed. Cynthia was gone. Derek was gone. Wallace was gone. Ethan became part of the new guest care team. Helen Carter was invited back as the first honorary guest under the hotel's new dignity program. And near the front desk, Marcus placed a framed message in bold letters. No guest must look rich before being treated with respect. On the day the sign went up, Lily stood beside him and read it slowly. Then she looked up. "Daddy, is that power?" Marcus smiled and held her hand. "No, baby," he said. "Power is not shouting at people. Power is staying calm until the truth speaks for you." Lily leaned against him. Outside, the rain had stopped, and this time, when the hotel doors opened, nobody had to wonder whether they belonged. The end.